Hello, in this recording, I'm going to show how to build executive review filters in the compensation module that enable planners or administrators to filter based on several managers or several HR or several matrix managers from the system. So here we have these two columns, line manager name, HR manager name. They are columns of type username and they are mapped to job information supervisor for one and HR business partner name for the other. And the problem is it shows the name of the manager fine, but it doesn't allow us in the executive review filter to filter based on several managers. So if I wanted to select Shane Creedon and Eddie Phillips, for example, and see all of the employees that are reporting to them, I'm not able to do that at the moment using these standard columns of type username. I will show that. So the first standard filters doesn't allow us to select multiple managers. We can select team view first manager, but we can only pick one manager at a time. So I could find, for example, Michael Pittman and select him. Then select the different levels I want to show, either only his team members or all the way below. But as we can see, I can't have more. These people that show here are the people below Michael Pittman in the org chart. So in a similar way, we could think that these would show on the filters here, but they do not because they're not supported yet by these new executive review filters. So if I do manager and I look at the list of fields available and I go through it, I can see that line manager and HR manager columns are not here. So this is something that eventually will be added to the filters, but there's no commitment yet on a timeline from the product team after circling back with them. So I'm going to show how to build this, so to enable people to filter based on several HR managers, hierarchies, and managers that are not connected to each other. So let's get started. So it's going to be like many workarounds we can find for comp modules through MDF objects, custom objects. So that's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build one custom object that's going to pull the line manager name, the HR manager name, and the matrix manager name for each employee. So to do that, we've got to go to configure object definition, create a new object. We're going to call this object job relationship names. Effective dating is going to be basic. API visibility editable. And then here, then scrolling down, we're going to select here for external code of type user. External name we don't need. And here we're going to do line manager, HR manager, and matrix manager. Okay, of type string is good, and then we can save. Once we have this custom object created, we need to permission it. So we need to go to permission role. Oh, and I don't have access with this particular comp admin user, so I'm going to go back as a system administrator. So permission role. And here in super user, I'm going to grant access to this object, which, unless we specify the category, these custom objects always go to miscellaneous permissions here. And I can search for job relationship and grant access to everything. Okay, done. Let's wait until it saves. Okay, so now that we have this, we're going to build business rules. Actually, just one business rule. So we're going to go to configure business rule, create a new business rule, select of type basic. We're going to call it job relationship, set job relationship names. And the base object is going to be the one we just created. So job relationships should show when we talk at the beginning. This one. Continue. The if condition is going to be always true. We don't need the variables for here. And then is going to be set. So the first one, line manager, to be equal to. We're going to go through external code here and navigate to job information, supervisor, to go to personal information, and formal name. So this can depend on the configuration of a client. This is the standard field for formal name. So most customers have this field with first name, space, last name, but we might want to check on the profile before. In this case, I've checked, and this is what is this is the only place where you can get the first name, space, last name for an employee. So here we're going to get this, and then we have two more expressions to add for HR manager and for matrix manager, and it's a little bit different for them. So HR manager to be equal to external code, job relationship name, external code job info, employment details, and job relationships, name, and then at the bottom we want to select where relationship type is equal to HR business partner. And same thing for matrix manager. Set matrix manager to be from my custom objects to be equal to external code, employment details, job relationships, name, where the relationship type is matrix manager. So now we save. And we're going to tie this business rule to our object by going back to configure object definition. And select our object, which is job relationships. And at the bottom, so we want to take action correction, and at the bottom we're going to select this rule as on save and save. So now we've got everything set up to test. So we're going to go to, so first before I show the test case, we're going to take one user that I've used before, and then we'll take maybe actually a couple. So Gavin, we're going to go to his profile and see who he has as a manager and as a HR. So he has Alison Mahoney as current manager. And if we scroll down in job relationship, he has Juliet Wood, and let's add a matrix manager for them, and that will do our test case. So we just do this, and then edit the February 1st record, and add matrix manager. And let's do, for example, Michael Pittman, and save. Okay, cancel. And now we're going to go and test that the object is working correctly. So we're going to go to manage data, job relationships name. Oh, actually, there's no data in it. We need to create data. So we're going to do here, create new job relationship names. And we're going to enter Gavin's name, Gavin's ID, or you can find him by his name too. We can do Gavin and save. And here we can see that we need to fine tune these. I thought I had it right, but no, now I remember what needs to be corrected. So that's fine. We're going to go and correct the rule. So we can go to configure business rule, if we remember the name of the rule, otherwise we can find it by going to configure object definition. Here I remember the name I gave it, so something like this. Yeah, I click on it. And we're just going to correct, so the path has to be actually, so we go to name, external code, employment details, and job relationships, name, and then personal information and formal name. And here, select again the relationship type, equal to HR business partner, and same for this one. Um, okay, so now we go back to manage data, and we're going to try again. So here, job relationship, Gavin, and we just have to just edit, maybe put a space somewhere and then save, and the rule applies again, and now we have the name of the HR manager and the name of the metrics manager. And so one last test case I want to do is what happens if we go ahead and make a change in the job relationship portlet. We can do that. So we're going to do Gavin. My information, job relationship. Then we're going to make a new record, effective February. The other one was first. Okay, so we're going to do it like 4th, February 4th. And I'm going to change this to be Mohan Kumar, and this person to be Shane. It doesn't matter really. Oh, save. Okay, and so now if I go back to my object, manage data, so I'm going to insert new record because that's what eventually we will do. Eventually we will feed this object from an integration center job. Okay, so proceed, and then just Snap Manager, and now we have the right people. So we can see that every time a change will happen, it will place the new record into this object. So now, how do we automate this? Well, we automate this through the integration center. So we go to automation center, integration center, sorry, not automation. And we do a SuccessFactors to SuccessFactors job that runs on a daily basis. So my integrations, create more integration types, SuccessFactors to SuccessFactors, scheduled, create. The entity for us, the starting point, we can take job info. All we're going to feed is the ID. So we can take job info or employment details, but job info is enough. So we do select. So we're going to say job relationship names daily. Next. And then we're going to click on switch to field mapping view. We're going to remove this here. We're going to do plus, and then we're going to look for our portlet, job relationship names, add, and we're going to do start date and user ID. And next. And then here, do we need a filter? I don't think so. No, we don't need that. So all we need to do is schedule it to run on a daily basis. So we just do daily, starting from today at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. Perfect. Okay, ending on no end. We can add someone in copy. Next, and we can run it now if we want. Save. Save. So that saved it, that triggered it to run the first time, and now it's correctly scheduled as well, so it will run every other day after this. If we click on refresh, we can see that the job is here as ran. Is in a few seconds we'll see it. So we can see the little man running icon here. So it says it means it's running. So we can just refresh. It should go fast because this environment only has a couple hundred of people. Completed successfully. If we see errors, we want to check for errors for sure. But so now that it ran successfully, I'm not expecting any problems. So I'm going to go to manage data and then do job relationships. And I should have everybody here. So Jack Kincaid, for example, you can see line manager Bruce. Yeah, there can be some data issues in this environment. A lot of people have no HR manager. So for example, Sarah, everybody has a supervisor, but in this demo environment, somehow the data that was loaded for HR manager and matrix manager was not properly loaded. So if I go to her profile and I re-edit it, and I come back here, I will see that it's going to get fixed on save again. So data quality is important. So job relationship, then I do here, we can see there's no name showing. So just do edit, and we can see the relationship type is completely missing, so that's important. And then we're going to do, for example, Pittman and Mahoney as matrix. And then go back to manage data, and then we'll see once we save again, it will work. So it's the issues we're seeing here after the integration center job are linked to the data quality and not to the integration center job itself. So if I just do take action, make correction, just do add a space, save, now we can see everything correctly. Okay, so now we're going to test that the filters are working by going to the comp home and adding the mapping of these fields. So we're going to do here, let's delete the worksheets that were created for the first example. And all we have to do is go back to design worksheet. We can use the columns that were already there that eventually were of no use for us because we couldn't use them to filter. Just simply put them as string, make them reloadable so that their header gets the blue link that enables us to sort on them. We want to call it something nice like custom line manager name. And then here we're going to do employment details and custom job relationship names and line manager. And then same here, custom HR manager name, employment details, HR manager, and reloadable, and type string. And save. And now we can launch worksheets again. This should be pretty fast for 48 worksheets. Completed. Okay. So we can go as comp administrator so that we can see we have more visibility on the columns. And so now we should be able to filter on two people that are completely disconnected, two managers or HR managers that are not tied to each other. We should be able to filter on their scope. So if I do filter, first of all, let's see if the data is showing fine. So it looks like for some people it didn't populate, and I'm suspecting data issue, similar to the one I fixed and then resaved and it worked fine. So I think that's what's happening here. We could check easily. But for now, I'm going to just do, for example, let's say if I wanted Shane Creedon and Armando Lopez teams. So I could do filter, managers, and then here I can see line manager name, and I can find Shane Creedon and I can also do in. Actually, that would let me pick several values at the same time. So I can do Shane Creedon and Armando Lopez, and then save and apply. And I can see everybody now. So I can see the two employees that are report to Shane Creedon and the three employees that report to Armando Lopez. Yep, so we could do the same with HR manager's name. As long as the data is correctly loaded in job relationship, we would see the data here and then we could filter as well. Okay, thank you.